Hey guys, all right. So I got called into work a little early and decided to make a quick video here. So the news just broke that Stan Lee has passed away. Um, it's it's pretty tragic stuff right there. I mean, the guy's final years of life involved him being kidnapped and basically held for ransom and bled out like like some medieval ill patient, Um, you know, oh come on, dude. Some guy decided to slam his brakes when he could have made the light. Anyway, just absolutely tragic. I mean, just an absolute tragedy in his final days. Um, I mean, at least he was free. I mean, that's the most important thing was that at least he didn't die in captivity. He died being surrounded with his family and was able to make amends, and he did have a good, at least have a good ending from that point on. Um, but man, I knew it though. Like I've posted on Facebook a couple of times, and I've gotten quite a few FUs and all this stuff. But I've posted this on Facebook a couple of times, and I'll actually share. Um, I know I've got the screen caps somewhere. It's either on my, it might be my old SD card, it might be my current SD card, um, or I can do a little bit of digging. But I mean, I saw this coming months and months and months ago. Like probably even, I mean, technically even last year, I knew he was going to pass away in November. I think last year I mispredicted it that it would be that November, but after that November rolled around, I was wrong about the year, but I was right about the month, and that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay, so I knew it was going to be in November when he was going to pass away. Um, uh, this is actually the third time I've actually predicted someone's death. I know this is going to sound really, really weird, kind of head trippy, oddball, but I predicted Heath Ledger's death. I predicted a good friend of mine's death, and I predicted Stan Lee's death. And I mean, with Stan Lee, I was wrong once on the year. I thought it would have been that November, but I was right on the month though for sure because I was like, okay, well, it's gonna be in November. I thought it would have been last November, but I did predict Heath Ledger was not gonna survive till his 30s. When A Knight's Tale came out, I was sitting down with a good buddy of mine. We were sitting down eating pizza, and the ad for A Knight's Tale came up, and I was looking at him, and I was like, that dude's gonna die really young." And my friend was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be part of the 27 Club." For those of you who might not know what the 27 Club is that a lot of famous people die at the age of 27. I believe it was, what was it, River Phoenix, I believe, died at the age of 27. Kurt Cobain died at the age of 27. Um, who else was there? Was it Janis Joplin, I believe, died at the age of 27. Jimi Hendrix, I believe, died at the age of 27. I don't remember if Jim Morrison did or not. I don't quite remember. But I'm pretty sure Janis Joplin was. I'm almost positive Janis Joplin was part of the 27 Club. She just looked really old because of the drugs and lifestyle she lived, but I'm pretty sure she was 27 when she died. And there was quite a few other famous people who have died at the age of 27. What was his name? James Dean, Jim Dean, James Dean, the Rebel Without a Cause guy. He died really young. He died in that car crash. He died at the age of 27. So he was part of the Club 27. Anyway, so I knew that. Like I was like, dude, as soon as I saw him in that, and I was sitting there looking and looking, I just kind of just felt something pressed on me that was like, yeah, he's gonna die. He's gonna die. He's gonna die young. When it came to my friend, I was actually I was at a FedEx Kinko's talking to another friend of mine about him. We were printing. I was there to print off some D&D character sheets, and I was catching up with him because it's been a while since I'd seen him and the rest of everyone. And he was telling me, he was telling me about our friend, our mutual friend, and was saying like, hey, yeah, he's, yeah, we've been hanging out with him, and he's doing okay. He's been just kind of, depressed and hanging out around the house. And I swear to God that it didn't even feel like it was me who was talking. It felt like an out of body experience, something to the akin of like in Doctor Strange when the Ancient One kind of like chest pumps, chest, punches him, and his spirit just kind of like floats outside of his body. I swear to God, it felt like something of that caliber. And the words that came out of my mouth were, spend as much time with him as you can. He's not long for this world. I swear to God on the Holy Bible that is the experience that I had when I told my friend that. And he was kind of taken aback. He was like, okay, that's really a weird thing to say. And I mean, I kind of just snapped back into it and was like, I knew what had come out of my mouth, but it didn't feel like it was me who said it. And I too kind of made more of an effort to hang out with him a couple of times, as much as when I could. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I went over there and hung out with him a couple of times, the couple of times that I did, because I mean, like I said, like I was really busy at that time and I didn't really think much of it, but so not hanging out with him, because when you're really young, when you're young 20s, you don't really think too much about losing your friends after high school. It wasn't very often. Now I had lost some friends during that time. I lost a good friend of mine. She had a disability, and she died in the middle of her in the middle of the night in her sleep, just shortly after our high school graduation. And then I lost another good friend of mine from another high school that I went to. Real good guy, like really, really good guy. He died in a car accident. Somebody was drinking, and I think it was the driver had been drinking, and he crashed high speed in a back alleyway, and everyone died in the accident. But when it came to my friend, my one friend though, it was. I'm glad I got to spend a little bit of time with him before he did pass away, but it was just tragic. I mean, but I knew it, and and it was true. I mean, I went in there. It was a cold November night when I went in there to go print off these character sheets. I had a game coming up, and then within the year of me talking about that with my other friend. And telling him to spend as much time as he could and get him up, get him moving, get him active, because he's not, just even just spend time with him because he's not long. He did. He ended up passing away within the year of me making that declaration. So, it's pretty tragic. I'm not going to say that like I have some divine gift, but sometimes I really do. Like sometimes I just feel pressed on it. Sometimes there's just something about a certain person that it shines through. I mean, if you ask me, when it comes to like Ethan Van Sciver, the feeling that I get from him is that somewhere between the ages of like 53 and 57 is probably about the time that he's going to go. It's just somewhere kind of like right in that general vicinity. Like I don't think he's going to have until the age of 60. I could be wrong. I mean, oh God, please, I always pray that I'm wrong. I always pray that I'm wrong. I'm very grateful for whenever I'm wrong. Believe me, I'm always grateful for when I'm wrong. I don't ever want to be right on this kind of stuff, especially when it came to my dear friend. Um, you know that that was a pretty hard blow for everybody in the group. There's a lot of splitting amongst people. Like we all tried to stay banded together, but certain people took the loss in certain manners. Some people turned away from God. A couple of us turned toward God. Um, some of us became a lot more left leaning. Some of us became a little bit more right leaning. And shortly, right around the time of his death, because it's like, that was, that he was a good friend of ours, man. That we just, we spent nights with each other, playing Dungeons and Dragons with each other, like building that extra camaraderie and doing what we could, that we could all be together. And it was hard. It was a hard loss with him. But I know I'm not. I know this video is like deviating away from the main topic at hand, which is Stan Lee. But it's just my dear friend. He passed away. The death of the anniversary of his death was just a few weeks ago, about late October. So it's always right around this time that sometimes you just feel that the maudlin, you feel the sadness of a lot of losses, and sometimes it gets a little hard to deal with. But rest in peace, Stan Lee. God bless him for all the wonderful characters that he's helped create, all the people that he's helped inspire to be creative. Oh, and the other thing, the one thing in particular about Stan Lee, a personal story, as a matter of fact, my sister went to a convention, and this was one of the last conventions he's ever done. She waited in line to get his autograph, and I had my sister print off a particular picture of Peter Parker and Mary Jane's wedding, and had him sign it. And Stan Lee actually had never seen that picture before come across his desk, or across his table. And my sister had him sign it, and she said, and he was like, he thought it was really beautiful, and asked what it was about. My sister told him that it was a wedding gift for my wife and I. And Stan Lee, actually, he said, well, he said, tell them that I wish them many happy and wonderful years in their marriage, and that he gave us his blessing, and that he thought it was a very beautiful and sentimental thing, and he was very gracious to sign it. And as a matter of fact, he even waived the it was like $120 fee that you would have to pay to to have it autographed. He actually waived that for my sister because of that. He thought it was wonderful. So it's the touching little story that I have about Stan Lee. I wish I could show you everybody that picture. My sister was supposed to get it framed, and she's kind of lost. She kind of lost it. In amongst a couple of moves, but she thinks she knows where it's at, but she can't find it right now. She hasn't found it since. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go, and we'll talk to you all later.